Hey everyone, my name is Corey. I'm the Blackchain founder. I want to thank you for joining us. And today we have Ben Bartlett. He's city council man for Berkeley, entrepreneur, lawyer, Christian, blah 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 blah. And I'll let him tell you more about himself, and we'll go right into it.
Well, hi Corey. Thank you for having me here. Very excited. I love your setup. Really classy, amazing, and it's good to be a part of the Blackchain.
Yeah.
It's funny how the things we evoke with the words now, right?
Right.
The blockchain. I every time I say it, I think about the block standing on with your ankle chained, getting sold at the market. I can't, we gotta change this blockchain thing. I
Yeah.
mean, what the hell is that about?
Yeah.
That's like that's slavery.
That's some deep stuff. Yeah.
You know, I'm not
Yeah.
down with that. And the
Yeah.
blockchain, I love that you're doing the blockchain. It's
Yeah.
a new way to look at it. Maybe our DNAs are chained together or our destinies chained together.
Yeah.
But I tell you, man, we got to drop this whole chain idea.
Mm-hmm.
We got to drop it
Yeah.
because we got to be free.
Yeah.
We got to be free. We got to grow.
Yeah.
We're not chained down. We can float. We can fly.
Yeah.
And that's the lesson here.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, I like that. I like that. Yeah, let's go deeper into that. So when
Sure.
I gotta ask you. So when you think of blockchain, what is that? What emotion does that tap for you?
So when I think of blockchain, honestly, I think of part of it. I think of '90s Teddy Riley music because I think it had some similar names, right? I forget what it
Yeah.
was. But I think I think of us being chained to a false identity, one that was given to us that is not us.
Yeah.
You know, identifying with bondage, and Kanye West said it right. He's like, slavery was a choice. That's a horrible thing, and people don't get it.
Yeah.
But everything is a choice,
Yeah.
and you can live free or you can die unfree. You know.
Yeah. Sure.
So or die free and live on. You know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think nowadays, I think it's imperative, this far along, this far out of the rain, we kind of wake up and recognize that we're free
Yeah.
and drop the whole chain shit.
Mm.
That's just real talk,
Yeah.
brother to brother here.
Yeah.
Now, forgot part of my language. I'm sorry. But also, it's important to look at this, right? So we've been in bondage for 4 centuries, and we really just got free within my lifetime. I'm 40 something like that. That's the last laws were passed. So coming out of like that kind of extreme terror, extreme bondage, extreme just 24/7 terror that we still see remnants of, and we still have it too. A couple million of us in prison, and the poverty and the drugs and all that, and the manifold of attention, panopticon, racism on us, right?
Mm.
When you're coming out of a car accident, you're in shock,
Yeah.
right? So we're coming out of a 4.5 century long car accident, like we just got out.
Yeah.
So we are in shock, and so we're walking around, kind of repeating all the things we were told, like we call a car a whip. Whoosh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We call each other nigger. That's pretty evident where that came from.
Yeah.
We call each other dogs, call the women bitches, right? That's
Yeah.
that's the deal. That's
Yeah.
what we're told to do.
Yeah.
And we wait for heaven. We pray to God for heaven gonna come after we die. We don't make heaven happen right now.
Yeah.
Because we're taught to wait. So this state of shock that we're in, we're slowly unfolding, slowly coming out of it. It's going to take a minute, and I think it's imperative for us, who at least are beginning to become conscious, to spread that word and to let people know that they are free, and to heal that wound and calm that shock, and
Yeah.
wake up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this technology. This is for your viewers. I think if they're crypto fans, they'll understand what I'm talking about, because the crypto revolution is revelatory. This is about freedom.
Yeah.
This is the freedom for you to decide your own way. The crowdfunding aspect, the tokenomics, the technology, the allowing you to sidestep this whole like massive overlord relationship we have with money, with finance, with debt,
Yeah.
allowing you to get outside of that and discover your own way and make your own way. It's incredible. This is the cloud. This is decentralization. This is, all of us networked. This is the ability to really create a human mind, and that human mind can work together to co-create, like I said earlier, a heaven on earth.
Yeah. A lot of what you said, I definitely agree with. And to kind of take it back to the name Blackchain, initially my thought was I wanted to create a name that stuck with people, right? And then I could worry about fixing the story, around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I've noticed, particularly in the tech space, or specifically in the blockchain space,
Mm-hmm.
The branding is very boring.
Yeah.
It doesn't really emit any real emotion. Like it's just, Blockworks, or not to call out any company in particular, but the names don't really, they don't really stand out. So I wanted to create a name that stood out, and that's the thing, right? It's like I've been reading a book that talks about positioning, right? Like, and you have to, in the book it says, when customers or when people interact with your brand, they already have a ladder in a mindset of what they think it represents, right? And use that to your advantage, right? So that's essentially what I see, what I'm doing with Blackchain, right? People already have a preconceived notion of what it means and what it signifies, but that's the honey to get people to pay more attention, right? So when they come in and look at our YouTube interview, right, they're going to walk away learning like, wow, this is a lot different than what I expect.
Yeah, that's smart, because it triggers something. So you automatically have space in their brain.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really have to work for it. And initially I was fighting it, and then I was like, you know what, I just want to own it, right? Because long term it's going to be better, right? Yeah.
That's good.
So like a lot of times I meet people that are like, huh? Tell me again? Yeah, like Blackchain.
Yeah.
And I never thought of the idea that it's chained. I never thought to put much thought into like chains and stuff like that. There is another friend of ours who has a company. We're not gonna call their name out, and people have said like, "Wow, that's kind of weird." Like the name of the company is
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's like,
it goes a step beyond yours, even.
Yeah, and the reason why, I never thought about changing chain in the name.
We get blockchain in the business, right?
Yeah.
Say ledger.
I just wanted to change the O to black.
Yeah.
Basically, just completely rebrand the space. It's like Blackchain, right? So the idea, and I think I mentioned to you before, it's about collaboration, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all black. Black African is the oldest DNA on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And when you pull out a crayon box, you put all those colors together. That's what you get. It's black.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Very good.
You don't. So when a person's wearing black, they're not just wearing one color. They're wearing pink. They're wearing blue.
Yeah.
Green. They're wearing yellow. All these colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I made sure to add that to the story, because most of my friends aren't black. Obviously, most of my family is black or African or whatever. So when I tell people it's about collaboration, they're like, "Oh, great!" It's like their defense mechanism stops. So their defense mechanism gets them excited about the brand.
Sorry.
No, it's cool.
That's
Their defense mechanism is like, really? And then when I tell them the story of what it really means, they're like, oh wow, tell me more.
That's great.
Yeah, so
I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, you definitely want to when you're moving any idea forward, you have to create touchstones in the brain. You need a tactile element in what you're communicating.
Yeah.
And you said with anything successful that moves from ideation to market, right? You need something for the big grab onto.
Yeah.
And of course, we're adept at triggering these things through different hot buttons in the psyche.
Yeah.
And so I think you've done that very well.
Yeah. in a good way, right?
Yeah, in a great way. In a great way.
Good way, yeah.
And then of course, once you get them, you can kind of pick a judo move and begin the healing process.
I like that. Yeah.
Like you did. The colors all come to one thing, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And it took It took probably a year and a half for me to develop that story.
Wow.
And actually something that I felt that I really identified with. Because again, most of my friends, most of the people I associate with outside of my family aren't black, right? And the idea that, you know, since we live in a global world, right, the people who you share space with, how can you say, no, I don't want you to read my stuff?
Yeah.
Right? Like, me and you share the Bay Area with so many different types of people. We have to work with them. You know, I think the mindset of like Malcolm X, when he was with Nation of Islam, he realized during his lifetime that it doesn't make sense to close out a set of people just because of their race. Like, if their ideals don't match yours, and that's a lot different.
Yeah.
But if they're trying to help, if they want to be work in collaborative way, be a part of the solution, why not? You know?
Yeah, I mean, look, nobody makes it alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether that goes for people and for races and for genders and for companies and
I mean, you look at ants, right? Like, you know, ants. They all work together, right? So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the deal. I mean, we are material beings, you know, composed of matter that comes together through, you know, harmonic frequency. Happens on an atomic level and in a larger level. I mean, that's the deal. Yeah. They call it gravity in one sense, but you know, we come together and that's where we succeed. Yeah. And we fail without it. Yeah. Cool.
It's got a little deep here.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's cool. So I think this is like a perfect segue because, you know, we were talking earlier and you said that the one thing you want people to understand is that how can we be more humane with the technology that we're using, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the technology waves over, I mean, since the 70s, if not sooner or later, they've always been driven more by about the advancement of the technology and or increasing the bottom line, increasing revenue. You haven't really, you're starting to see now a shift in people wanting to put humanity just as high as improving in technology.
Yeah.
Right? You hear, you know, stories about Facebook being beat up in the news about stuff they've done. You know, Uber. Haven't been hearing as many bad things about Uber, but you get the point.
Yeah.
So talk to us more about what are some things that you've done or that you see that you like when people are putting social impact or just being humane in front of the technology.
You know, it's funny. You know, so you know, African Americans, you know, we have a very special relationship with technology. Yeah. We're the earliest adopters of most things, like the remote control, the cordless phone, Twitter, Facebook. It goes on and on and on. You know, one theory is that it's because technology got us off the fields. You know, the cotton gin, those machines, right? So we like technology, we always have. So I mean, so we take the technology readily. We were the ones doing the beepers that you could bump each other. You know, and beepers in general, right? Yeah. Like we're all doctors out there.
That was my first mobile communication thing.
Was a beeper, right?
A beeper, yeah.
None of my white friends had beepers.
Oh wow!
But all my black friends did.
And you grew up here in the Bay, right?
Yeah, here and in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so you know, so technology, right, it's meant to make life easier, right? Going back to using a stick to extend your reach, you know, or a spear or whatever, you know, or a cup to carry the water, to feed the people better, things like that. Technology is meant to make life better, to extend your powers, right? Yeah. And it has been doing that. You know, it's important to realize that at this point in history, the human race is the healthiest, the strongest, the safest it's ever been. Yeah. Ever. You know, and the starvation rate right now I think is under 4%. 30 years ago it was over 60. Right? Yeah. So I mean, this we are on the upswing. That's due to agricultural technology. It's due to all kinds of things, communications. You know, so as we become more connected to one another through technology, really is the key, right? You know, we now have international charity. We now can see each other suffering, and we can't sit with it. You know, we're like, well, this is not going to work. We got to help it. So you have this increase in human connection and awareness, and now the technology must drive those impulses to help each other. Yeah. And that's what you see happening. That's the micro lending. That's microlending, charity. It's small business creation, and global investment patterns. You said China, uplifting from poverty. This country, we basically disemboweled our telecom business and gave it to India. That's all the phone center business, right? And now India. Yeah. Now
the Philippines too, though.
Philippines too, and now they're massive, coming out of poverty. China, our manufacturing center, we broke off our manufacturing arm, gave it to them. Bam! Now hundreds of millions of people out of starvation, out of poverty.
Yeah.
So, that's good technology. We could have supply chains become more dynamic, more connected. You can get a phone call from India. You may be upset. You can't quite understand what the lady's saying.
Yeah.
But that she's buying food for her family.
Yeah. You get the gist of what she's asking.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. Yeah, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Just send me the stamp collection, whatever.
Yeah.
So technology is meant to help people, and when you can marshal that purpose of it, then you're golden. And right now, the current issues we're facing are this new massive wealth divide that's coming back online now. We're kind of retreating a little bit from global growth and having, not so much an increase in poverty, but a higher disparity in poverty.
Yeah. And
so the wealth's going up to a few now, and that's also been enabled by technology, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you also have the environment, which is, our living environment. We say the environment, but it's really our living environment is becoming toxic. It's real simple, right? Global warming, whatever. The ocean is turning acidic, which is going to kill all the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the sea level is going to rise, which is going to flood our cities. And by the end of the century, you're looking at half the population on the planet Earth being homeless. That's some Mad Max territory. That's Walking Dead. That's Rick and Michonne and them. So
yeah.
So that's a fate that we don't need to be chained to, right? So technology, in the right hands, can be deployed to correct that course and to make a better destination for us, And so I think technology allows us to really pull ourselves to the destination that we've set our minds to, much like your GPS on your phone when you're in the car.
Yeah. Cool. So I think this is a perfect segue to talk about the crypto bond bill that you passed, right? So a lot of it was driven because you wanted to help make it easier for Berkeley or just smaller cities to actually raise municipal bonds, because you have to, if you don't ask for a certain amount, then you're not able to put that bond in, right?
Yeah.
And then you also wanted to make it available for the average person to be able to invest in these type of securities and assets and stuff like that without having to have a high net worth.
Right.
So I'm interested in getting your perspective on what do politicians think about it, and then how were you able to actually get that passed? Because it was the first one in the U.S., right?
Hopefully it's the planet Earth. I'm trying to go out like that.
Yeah.
I do believe it is the first one. First one published. It's now been executed though, a few times over.
Yeah.
But we published it.
You published it, yeah.
And we created we announced the concept and the design for it.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Yeah.
So the other politicians are they're excited about it because we have this again, the wealthy, right, have taken all the money and they don't want to be taxed. So there's no money to pay for things you need as a government. So that's like your roads, your bridges, healthcare, education, deficit, borrowing money, and that's around the world.
Yeah.
So you have this great need to fulfill your basic mandates as governments, right, that you cannot meet. You keep borrowing to do it, but you can't borrow forever, and it's gonna be a reckoning, right?
Yeah.
So they're excited because they see it as a potential way to raise money, because when you issue these crypto bonds, They're so efficient. The technology allows you to have an immediate record of the ledger of ownership, and you can transfer it easily and quickly, and it's real-time notification. It cuts the costs of issuing for like a AA or AAA credit city or government by almost half.
Wow.
And also the twin problem, right, of poverty going alongside that, you lower the cost of buying one of these instruments to like 8 cents, 5 cents. It only costs 0.00034 cents to even issue it. So the cost for you and me to buy a piece of this building, a piece of this dam, a piece of this whatever, a piece of this American dream goes down to like 25 cents.
Wow.
Instead of having to be a multimillionaire or to buy a bond for $100,000 and keep it all in the circle up top, you can crowdfund it all around the world.
Yeah.
And then everyone gets a piece of the money. So you start owning something. You know, remember most people, the majority of the population in this country is projected to have 0 assets in the next generation. 0.
Yeah.
That's where the wealth consolidation is leading us towards.
And do you think that's because of, me personally, I think it's because of student loans. What would you say do you think is?
Well, most people didn't go to college. But that's because
that's a good point.
That's not helpful. Student loans are a disaster.
Yeah.
That we got to figure out. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much I owe. You would not believe it. You would not believe it.
Yeah.
It's like funny money.
Wow.
You know, for what? Give me the book. Give me the book and pay this guy 60 G's to let me ask him questions about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll gladly help pay for that book and that guy 60 G's a year. Or 80 G's or 90 G's, 100 G's, whatever. There's 50 of us in the class. I'll borrow $10,000.
Yeah. And this is part of the reason why I've had conversations with people who are older than me, and they're like, "Hey, you thought about getting your MBA?" And I look at them I'm like, "Well, if my career goes fine, I don't need one."
Yeah.
And they look at me like, "What?" I'm like, "It doesn't," because I'm like, I'm still in debt. And it's not I'm actually around average rate or whatever, but it's not high. And I'm like, why should I go back to school to pick up more debt when I work here in the Valley? And I'm like, I'm just 1 or 2 jobs away, or one or two opportunities away from solidifying my career. So out here, I don't need an MBA as much. It's more of it would be somewhat more of a nice to have from what I see it.
Well, I must deviate from that point of view. There's no substitute for advanced education.
Yeah.
The mental training you get from doing 2 years of those case studies and learning the deep metrics of value in business would sharpen you to a diamond precision.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an attorney. You know, I took like 10 years for going back to law school. I was the same idea. I was like, you know what? I'm having fun. I'm doing my thing. I'm all good. And I'm smart. And,
is that how I look?
You know, the youngsters, you know, get your little hip hop, you know, I see you out there rapping, you know, so, so I was the same way. I was like, you know, I'm living my best life, you know, it was all good. and then I started hitting this little ceiling. I was like, you know what? I'm not able to transition into new fields as easily because I don't know this stuff, or I don't know the people, and they don't believe me because they see my little resume. I'm this person. They don't know I can be that person, and I was just not knowing enough, right? And then I went to law school, and by the time you finish in law school in particular, by the time you finish the bar exam and 3 years of school, someone told me you've studied 10,000 factual scenarios.
Wow.
So, so when you go through the process, I mean.
So you can smell a liar.
I mean, more than a lie, it's like you can kind of forecast.
Yeah.
Every incident, every situation. You're like, hey, Ben, I want to start this mango puree business. Okay, I can be like, okay, well, what kind? Puree. Okay, you gonna bottle it? Who's gonna bottle it? Where's it gonna go? Who's gonna make it? Da 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 da. Oh my God, who's gonna ship it? What's gonna happen? Oh yeah, my cousin's gonna ship it for me. Oh bam, okay, he's gonna sue you when he gets injured by it. You can see everything.
Got you.
And you can see all the value points, and so There's no substitute for advanced education.
Yeah.
If you are able to get advanced mental training, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And you get some debt, so what?
Yeah.
Just honestly, I tell people, if it's part of our thing coming out of the car accident I mentioned, right? Coming out of this 4th century car accident.
Yeah.
We don't have any mentors. All of us are kind of like on the ground trying to figure it out. No one told us what to do. Our forebears were beaten down, so they made bad decisions because they didn't know either. We're creative because we have to make do, right?
Yeah.
We turn nothing into something, right? But you can learn from those you observe who are dominating the world. The people that are running everything and own everything and are balling out 24/7, 365, no matter what they touch turns to gold, just do what they do.
Yeah.
They all have advanced degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, they all do.
Yeah.
I mean, a few of them don't, but
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
yeah, but they probably still went to Harvard
Yeah.
or Stanford.
Yeah, well,
And dropped out of there.
Well, most of the VC-backed companies in tech come from Stanford and
Of course.
MIT, so.
Of course.
Yeah.
These are the same interlocking people that have been running things for generations. Now they just wear sneakers and hoodies, but it's still the same people.
Yeah.
And so, you got, my advice to you is to do what they do.
Mm.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna get out of debt first.
You're never gonna get out of debt.
Oh, I think I could. Yeah.
Okay, if you can get out of debt first, that's great. Or you can go ahead and get it and get the big money coming in and get out of debt over the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Because what happens is if you go back to school later in life, they get you with their ageism.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? You get your degree now while you're young. The ageism is terrible. They hate you because they don't hate you. They have antipathy towards letting you in their money business if you're of color. They have antipathy of letting you in their money business if you're a woman. And they have antipathy of letting you in their money business if you're over age of 40.
Mm.
You see?
Yeah.
So you already got one of the three. Why take two?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you might have all three. I don't know. I'm not trying to, I don't know where you are in a gender spectrum, okay? But I'm assuming, you got one. So yeah, so you want to, you got to make sure that you're not all, that you get your advantage in now. Trust me.
Yeah.
First mover. Just like in chess, first mover. But you need the skills to move first.
Yeah. Cool.
So that's my advice to you. Deal with that student loan stuff, whatever, later, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's funny money.
Funny.
You get your MBA right now, you can pay it off.
Yeah. I've heard that too, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And especially too as an African American, there's so few of us getting it now. I mean, we're dropping off. The graduate level, the law school, the medical school, the business school, we're dropping off. We've gotta keep it going, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I have my bachelor's in economics, so that's been helpful.
Yeah, you can get an MBA school.
Yeah, I know I can.
You can do math.
Yeah.
Nowadays they're all quant. Nowadays the MBA schools want you to do Excel like crazy, you know, but you can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and a lot of jobs I've had, I've done a lot of Excel work because you're dealing with big data and you want to do like analysis very quickly.
Yeah.
Because you can't look through every individual data set, so you have to live in the spreadsheet. Like I track, like I'm going through a job hunt, and I track all my job applications.
Wow.
And I was on a phone call with a potential with a recruiter, and I was able to tell her how much of the market share her company has using their application based on the data in my spreadsheet.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so yeah, I live in the spreadsheet. So.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that. I can barely add.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't fun because like every application I fill out, I'm like, all right, put this in there. Name of the company, the website. Did I get referred? Did they? When did they reply back? And it's just like, I can say, I think it's like if a company doesn't reply back to you in 15 days, you're probably not going to hear from them.
Oh,
It's something like that.
I can tell you that.
Yeah. And but I'm like looking at my spreadsheet like, wow, if I don't hear back from, because most of the companies, looking at when most of the companies reply back to me after applying.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Although you do know, though, right? The key to success is follow up, follow up, follow up.
Right.
And that's a hard thing to get down.
Yeah.
It was hard for me because it's embarrassing and you feel ashamed or you're like disappointed. But when you take the point of view that the world is the brakes and you are the gas, then it's okay. You just be the gas.
Yeah.
You want some meeting, some whatever. You put that thing in your calendar every 72 hours. Remind you to call back.
Yeah.
You just do it until you burn it out or get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's another lesson learned from the people that are really masters of this domain. They'll all say that same lesson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see it a lot in the crypto community when you look at like Ethereum, right? As an example, they keep pushing.
Yeah, they do.
People, I think Ethereum is the best proof of concept as far as a smart contract, platform. But yeah, they just keep pushing.
That's awesome.
It's very hard to find an Ethereum person who's going to talk down on Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
So and then so back to the crypto bond. You said that your cost for issuing the bonds per person or something like that was like
for the
positive for the issue was like positive 1 cent.
Oh well, the cost to buy one.
The cost to buy one,
yeah. Yeah, is like nothing.
Yeah.
And the cost to issue them, like to send out a debt note, right?
Yeah.
Is almost half of what it is normally. So remember, 2008, the economy tanked, and the global economy tanked, and capital flows kind of froze up.
Yeah.
And so a lot of this, we got dislodged of 2008. We lost a lot of property, we lost a lot of value, and we're still recovering.
Yeah.
And so, one way to fix all that is to get people owning resources that generate value back to them.
Right.
Which is it used to be normal to have ordinary people own bonds. They'd they'd sell you bonds right away when you were born as a kid or families, And there's some good ideas out there too about lifetime savings accounts and lifetime bonds for babies, and all that could be done too.
Yeah.
Because we still have to rebuild the entire world. I mean, trillions of dollars. One of my side projects, not my side, but one of my projects that will be taking over my whole career the next 2 years or so is desalination. Like I was saying, the aquifers in the world, these underground Great Lakes, that the water comes from for farming and whatnot, and drinking, they're all running empty around the world. They've been overused too much, and you also have more heat, so you have more desert earth happening.
Yeah, you see it in Africa.
Yeah. And it's everywhere, California too.
Yeah.
And so the farmland's going bad and shrinking, and then you have sea level rise, which is going to impact the coastal cities where people all live. So the lack of water is going to be the thing. I mean, it is the thing. The war in Syria was about water. The Alawites, the guys running the country, they cut off water to one of the rival ethnic groups and sent it to their people, and they started fighting back for the water, and that broke the country down. So you're going to see more and more of these water.
I didn't realize it was over there. I thought it was more around
oil,
other governments manipulating the situation in Syria.
Oh yeah, of course. You open the door, it's on. Right?
Yeah.
It's on. You got territory that's up for grabs. Got to get yours, right?
Yeah.
And there's oil mixes and pipelines and and other balkanizing elements at play in that conflict that has most of the world's major powers on the ground in there, which is interesting. But the water thing set it off, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be more of that happening. And like South Africa, I forget what city. That's spacing out here. The city. Almost ran out of water last year. They got saved by a rainstorm, but there's
not. Is it Cape Town?
I forget. I need some more coffee. But but the water scarcity is so severe that we need to produce water.
Yeah.
It's beyond water maintenance.
Yeah.
Like better pipes to catch drips like that. That's great. But I'm of the belief that we need to just produce water. So I'm gonna be taking the crypto bond technique that we come up with, that now I consult companies and governments around the world on how to do this and new forms of it, and submerging it. I call them tokenized debt offerings, TDOs.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
That's my word. That's my word. That's my word.
You better buy the trademark for it.
I know I get the trademark. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my word. So the TDOs, right? I want to leverage things like that to do global offerings to create 3,000 desalination plants of the new technologies, the new forms of these things to produce water around the world. So that's my big project.
Yeah, I actually read that somewhere. So the first Europeans who came over, they realized they can control climate by cutting down the trees.
Oh, wow.
So they would cut down trees and stuff.
Wow.
It's like a cycle, right? I guess the trees tell the atmosphere I need more water. So it's like reversal and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Not reversal, but it's like it's just a part of the ecosystem. They just were cutting down trees, and they figured out, hey, we cut down less trees, we'll have less rain.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we're all connected, right?
Yeah.
The systems. So yeah, that's that's awesome, but pretty, I guess, kind of negative.
Yeah, very, very negative. But I was just kind of like agreeing with your point.
Yeah.
Just like it's part of the reason why I have plants in my room now, just so I can have like cleaner air.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, you want to have living things around you. For real. Yeah. Plants are living and they breathe.
No, it's just when you said living things around them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that can mean a lot, right? Like living, but also people that actually have like a good spirit, who are lively.
That's true too.
Yeah.
That's true too. And I think where you find one, you find the other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do I know?
I should have introduced you as Guru.
Yeah, the Guru. Yeah, for sure, Guru.
Yeah.
I met him once. He was cool.
The rapper.
Yeah, he died. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah, he was cool. The Jasmine Taz cat. I liked him.
Mm.
So what's up with the crypto winter? What's gonna happen? We're gonna get out of it?
Yeah. So what I noticed is that, and this isn't investment advice. I want to make sure I say that. So the first purchase in Bitcoin cryptocurrency was made in 2009. 2014 was the first official boom with I forgot the name of that exchange. They had a major hack. I'm blanking on their name, but they actually started out as a exchange for I think Pokemon cards or whatever.
Okay.
And then they realized that most people were paying for that stuff in Bitcoins, and then they switched to being a Bitcoin exchange.
Oh wow.
I don't know why I'm blanking on the name, but I'll add it in the comment section.
Oh, interesting.
But so when the story came out that they got hacked, the market just fell off a cliff. So it was at peak $1,400 per Bitcoin, then it just dropped.
Wow.
And it dropped all the way down to 150 at the lowest, but I started paying more attention to it when it was around 200. So that was 2014. It dropped down to $150 back in 2015. Then our last boom happened, 2017?
Okay.
So you're talking, the first boom was 5 years, the second one was 3 years. And what seems like is happening is as more people come in, the more volatile and the wilder the swings are, right? So I would guesstimate based on that, it'll be another 3 to 5 years for the next boom to happen.
3 to 5 years?
3 to 5 years from 2017 though.
Oh, so
right,
like 2020.
So you have to look at it, when did it fall off a cliff, right? Like when did it fall off the cliff? It was probably like 2018.
Yeah. Like mid-year?
Yeah, probably like mid-year. So if you were to say, okay, add 3 or 5 to that is what, 2021 to 2023.
Yeah.
That's what I would guesstimate.
Interesting.
When I see the market coming back.
Interesting.
I think right now is a good time to become crypto rich.
Crypto rich, yeah.
Yeah, become crypto rich where it's cheaper to acquire.
Yeah.
These assets, these crypto assets, and then cash in, cash out.
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way.
Yeah. And for people who are interested, there's a lot of opportunities to get passive income, right? With mining, you have staking, which is some things that I'm actually looking into, because with staking, they work just like credit default, not credit default, but certificate deposits, where you commit your money to the network or to the system, and then the system rewards you for holding your tokens, right? So that's basically proof of stake, right? So Dash is like an example. Like, I don't know how much you know about it, but Dash has a system called master nodes.
Master nodes?
Yeah, where you have to buy X amount of tokens in order to become a master node to verify transactions on their blockchain. So during the boom, it was like 300,000, I think, and now it's like 2,500, right?
That's still pretty good for the crypto.
2,500.
Oh,
it's 2,500 to buy a master node now, from what I researched and what one of my friends was telling me, right? So it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to acquire cryptocurrencies now, and if you're patient and and hold and stuff, and you understand how to buy and sell and stuff like that, then you should be fine, right?
Interesting.
Like Dash. Dash in particular is getting more steam in Venezuela, so they're using that a lot. Like, from what I hear, the shopkeepers are actually using Dash.
Look on their mobile
Sounds like
phones.
they're using Dash more than they're using the Pedro. You familiar with the Pedro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Interesting. So that's again that freedom, and
the freedom. Yeah.
Create your own economy there. So I love this ongoing experiment, and there's so many different variants of 3,000 coins, right? Each one with its own idea as to how to make it work and how to create the value for the people.
Yeah, most of them are failing. Most of them have failed, which I think is good. They don't understand what we was talking about earlier, offline tokenomics.
Real value.
Like the what you call it, the circular movement of wealth or something like that.
Well, no. So the tokenomics, right? The idea that the token itself is this circle of value, and that every person who touches the token must benefit in some way, and everyone inside of it, in this data packet, right? Benefits from it, and it takes a good amount of thinking to make a token economy that fulfills that need. Yeah. And it's exciting when you see it.
And into token economy, gosh, I'm blanking on the guy's name. B.F. Skinner. I was researching one night. This was like a year ago. And I was just in YouTube, token economy, and then he came up and I watched this video. And token economy is actually the study of how you incentivize kids in a classroom, school kids, to behave, or disincentivize them to behave. And I was like, wow, that's what tokenomics actually is.
Exactly.
And then I wrote a whole series on it. And what I realized is, just from looking at different white papers, talking to different founders, is that most of them don't understand that they're really behavioral scientists trying to manipulate behavior.
And game theory.
Game theory. So game theory is more of a tool. I wouldn't call it necessarily a theory.
Okay.
Right, because anything inherently where you're when people can quote unquote game the series, then you need to have someone on your team understand what game theory is and how do you use it to make sure the incentives you put in place are actually acting accordingly based on mathematical models. So to me, I wouldn't really look at game theory as like a school of thought. It's like, do I need it or not?
Okay. To understand these interactions and.
Right.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a series of incentives, and it's great. Yeah. It's really neat, and I read white papers all the time. Yeah. It's just so exciting, And
which one's your favorite one? Which one's your favorite white paper?
Oh my gosh! Well, I don't want to call these companies out. Some of them are well known, and one didn't really. One has not come out yet. I don't think it'd be appropriate for me to name the names of these companies because some of them I'm involved with, some I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the ones that deal with supply chain management. There's some exciting ones around sort of when you deal in commodities and finding rational prices, rational pricing mechanisms.
So does it tap into Oracle's offline data?
Yeah.
Sounds like it would have to.
Yeah, oracles for sure, and anything that allows the networked accounting. Network accounting is I think very very exciting.
Explain that, network accounting.
So network accounting is the idea that when you have a group of people or a group of parties involved in a business, let's say it's a bottling business, right? So one company supplies the lids, the jars, one supplies the glass jars, one's the truck, one makes the stuff inside the jars, right? One at the factory, right? One does insurance, and a lot of times it's hard to find the best. There'll be asymmetric knowledge and power and value, right? So
right. So when you say asymmetric, you mean one party knows something that the other party doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're using that to their advantage.
Exactly,
yeah.
Which is the traditional kind of extractive economy.
Yeah, it's capitalistic.
Yeah, capitalistic, right? Which is arguably leading to some destructive and just not coming up the way as fast as we could, and leading to disruptive relationships, right? So you end up suing each other, you end up breaking apart, you end up not being as efficient and not growing as you could. You're not growing as much as you could as a whole, because the rising tide really does lift all the boats, right? So network accounting is where it's this way technical stuff, but where they share their pricing is shared across multiple ledgers of when they buy and sell, and when they bid come together. It finds a stable price that allows it to happen more smoothly, more quickly, and with less default, less chaos.
Yeah, it sounds like a different way of explaining it. So, because I'm quite familiar with triple accounting. That's essentially what a distributed ledger is. But
yeah, that's similar.
Network accounting is talking more specifically about the nodes and how they make sure there's quote unquote perfect information in the system to where everyone benefits, right? So
Exactly.
So to explain triple accounting more, so basically traditionally with double accounting you have debits and credits, right? And with triple accounting you have debit, credits, and then the final you have an extra ledger or entry that records that transaction as well.
Yeah.
So that's where the distributed ledger comes in, where it records the debit, credit, where the money came from, who it went to, and then also just the actual balance of it as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like an extra layer of to beat fraud.
Yeah, I mean it's
very dense.
I did not do it justice right now, just so you know.
Yeah.
But it's cool to read it though.
Yeah.
It definitely.
I try to keep things simple. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can't say it to you in 2 sentences, and you can dig into the details later. So,
exactly.
Yeah. The guy who worked on triple accounting, he actually works with the EOS team, or I think Block 1.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
I'm just bad with names today.
Now that's an interesting apparatus. Sorry about that. That's an interesting business over there. They're building and funding and creating, just going for it.
Yeah. With blockchains, what you can do now is you can create a true walled garden, right? Like Apple created their walled garden, which
what is this word?
Walled garden. So they own the hardware and they own the software. They own the front door and the back door. Mm-hmm. So if you want to get on their platform, you have to play by their rules, i.e. pay them whatever they want, right? But with Apple, the Apple still has to essentially, it's limited by the government, right? Because essentially Apple's using government money, U.S. Euro money, so their power is quote unquote limited in that aspect. With blockchain, you can do what Apple did, and on top of that, you have your own money. So technically, you can work outside of your own, outside of the government's purview on their land,
right,
in their country,
right.
But you could be like, well, we're using our own money.
And what is that new internet that's built on this way too? Well, there was the Orchid protocol, which is exciting. Which
I don't know much about that, so.
Orchid's amazing. I mean, it reads amazing, and they've got a good team. They're doing some dynamic work as they build it out. It's a new internet layer, and it's an internet layer that's built.
Is it a mesh network?
I think so. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a new internet, and it's built to empower its users. There's a privacy element, and you're able to monetize your own life because the whole idea that what we don't own our data is just crazy.
Yeah.
That's just we gotta come back.
Yeah. So
and recognize
the
that
thing too about that too, I
ourselves.
think it's important for us to own our own data,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we also have to understand that individually we're not going to make that much money off our data, right? So how do you make the economics worth it for someone to want to own their own data?
Yeah, well, you do it together. That's what I wrote about this in my paper, The Smart Path. Imagine data pools. So whole groups of people coming together and bundling their data and then securitizing it. Then you're talking. You can do that among affinity groups, neighborhoods groups, friends, anyone.
Yeah.
You can. The market is definitely not even mature yet. As
I can see that working.
As the big data revolution comes on board, right?
Yeah.
Which has just begun. When it's really on board, when the whole what they call internet of everything has happened.
Yeah.
Where there's sensors attached to every little thing going on, and there's this data construct. We're aware of everything.
Like Minority Report,
Yeah. I mean,
we technically are almost there because Google knows and Facebook knows when someone is sick, or if a woman is if it's the time of the month for it, right?
They don't really
based on searches.
So they're getting there. But they don't know what your body's doing. They don't. They barely know where you are. They think they do. And they don't. There's the whole the sensor revolution has not really happened yet.
Yeah.
The smart sensors communicating to each other hasn't really gotten there yet. It'll get there.
Yeah.
And so when that happens, and you're just gonna see all these new ways to monetize this information, and little AI bots working for us to do things for us online, and be your broker, and it's gonna be crazy. This virtual world that we have now has not even begun yet.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that too, because I tweeted this a few days ago and tell people, but so Samsung is coming out with their own. It's been pretty much confirmed. They found a patent late last year. I think the last day of last year, or the 30th, December 30th, in the UK for a patent on hardware wallets in their phone. So they're actually going to have essentially like a ledger in their phone, and it's going to have the encrypted. I think they're going to have the encrypted private key on it. They have to.
So finally, a user-friendly experience.
Because so Ledger does that. They encrypt it on your device.
So your thumbprint or something to access.
Well, it's protected. It's protected through a 13-word phrase or something like that. So you don't actually know the private key, but you know your phrase. As long as but you have to put it in that order.
13 words. You can remember that.
Well, you write it down.
Oh, see, that's the problem.
You write it down.
That's right.
You put that in the safety deposit box.
Oh God, I keep telling these people, it's the crypto winter will never be over as long as ordinary people cannot use this stuff with facility.
You know what's so crazy? So
I'm not going to write down 25 words. I'm not going to go put this little flash drive in a safe deposit box.
A founder of an exchange died, right? I think died today or yesterday, and they can't access the money on that exchange, a majority of it, because he was the only one who had the private key.
The users can't?
Well, when you put your money on an exchange, you don't necessarily have a private key.
So the money's trapped there?
Yeah.
So that's just silly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, rest in peace to him. But when I saw that on Twitter, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean.
But we want to put identity. We want to put identity on.
Yeah,
on the blockchain.
and
So
then those,
I don't know if that.
the companies I look for are ones that do identity. You know, the ones I look for interoperability. You know, I advise venture funds and I advise, you know, market makers and things like that. And so the things I look for them are ones that are going to make this revolution palatable for ordinary people.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's an interesting story. I mean, here's one note. It takes 40 touches for the new person to open up the process and then own a cryptocurrency. And what? 40 points of activity.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
You know,
and you know how many marketing touch points it takes for someone to quote unquote buy your product? I think it's like 14 or something like that, or 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if it takes 40, it's like,
yeah.
So that lets you know the type of people we're dealing with, who are the type of person who's getting the crypto. These are early adopters.
Yeah, they're just, you know,
so
they're
very
like,
pragmatic, so they don't.
They're in-crowd engineer types.
Yeah.
And they don't want it to be easy. They want it to be for them, which is great. But you know, in terms of fulfilling its destiny to bring more value to people and bring transformative change to the economy, it has to be open up for everyone else.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'll be looking forward to the entrepreneurs that can create applications to handle all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to have 25 passwords. It's too late for that. My whole life I've had a 4-code thing for the ATM machine. Yeah. That's it. That's all I can do now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do 25 passwords.
Yeah.
And and it's going to be on my phone.
Yeah.
It's got to be there or nowhere.
That's the thing too. So
make it happen.
If that's the way it has to be, then what you're going to see is where custodian services are going to come in, right?
Yeah.
It has to be.
Exactly.
If people don't want to secure it. And one thing too, I wanted to also add that I actually see happening. Like any internet-enabled device is going to have its own crypto wallet.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Because I think the next wave, future waves of crypto are going to be more behind the scenes. So I use the analogy when I go overseas or go traveling. When I went to Canada, I'm spending USD in Canadian dollars at the same time. Didn't even know about the exchange rate. It was so seamless. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to say, oh well, I have Bitcoin and how many ETH is that equal to? I didn't have to do that math.
Yeah.
And the CTO, the now CTO of Coinbase, he gave this great talk, and he talked about machine to machine.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? So you think about Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
How you can set your orders up to be automated. Well, what he was saying is that the next wave is going to be where you open up your refrigerator. It's going to be smart. It knows.
It's going to order some orange juice.
Yeah. It knows that you ran out, so it's going to pay Amazon or whatever company in their native token, and then it comes to you in the mail. You pick it up, put it in the refrigerator. So that's where I actually see the next wave going, and this ties in directly with why I see internet-enabled devices having their own cryptocurrency, right? Because it'll be a way of tracking.
Right. So IoT payment mechanisms.
Right. Yeah. So like, let's say you have a Nest and it's cold outside, and Nest probably knows that, so it's warm here, and it knows that also it's tied to another device, right? It receives information from. Because you got to also think of it like when you look at a blockchain, different nodes are verifying these transactions.
Right.
And these nodes and these networks are communicating with each other.
Right.
Same thing these internet devices are going to do, right? So if your refrigerator knows, based on what Nest told it, that it's cold outside, and then the house is warmer, it knows that you're more likely to want chocolate, hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Then hot chocolate's going to come to your door, right? And
exactly.
It's all going to be paid automatically. Right.
Yeah. That's
so
amazing.
And
so when
the hacking is going to go up though, right? Like just imagine like.
Oh, the hacking.
Yeah, the hacking is going to go up. So people are going to be able to scope out a house virtually. Mm-hmm. Say, oh, this person has 5 Bitcoin in his lamp. Right. This person has like 10 Bitcoin in his light.
And that's going to be the challenge, right? Identity, because you can program the currency to only be for you. So it can't be taken, right? But then you sacrifice privacy, and that's going to be the battle.
So,
Right?
so what you're talking about, what you would have to do essentially is make your own money for your own house,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But if someone steals your money
They can't use it.
because it only works in your house,
Yeah, it's you. So that's the cool
Okay.
thing, this programmable currency stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's good, of course, for, in my paper I talk about that same idea for supply chains.
yeah,
So you can really program the supply chain to only, this currency can only be used for these things. So that's how you can unlock, new agriculture processes, new manufacturing facilities, new green economy stuff,
Right.
essentially, right?
right.
You can lock it in, right? And so I think that's gonna be cool, because we all have a unique ID, and people also want to realize this. We also, all of us Americans, have a thing called an M-band, a medical body area network. That's a frequency that we've all been given for telemedical
didn't know that.
communication. Yeah, each
How long?
person.
How long have it?
It happened in the Obama administration. I'm not sure what year, maybe 2010, 11, 12.
Really?
Yeah.
So when did they put that in me, or?
It's not in you. It's like
Oh.
you have it though. Yeah, and it's you have frequency assigned to you, and you haven't used it yet, but you will be more and more.
So
And
what can I do with that frequency? Like,
You can, have your EKG signal sent to a lab. You can put your hand on a sensor and have it read your pulse and have a
so it's
doctor.
like gets into biometrics. Is that what
It's
it's
just
called?
telemedicine. So it's
Telemedicine.
remote medicine. It's your body information broadcast as a signal to some other place
Mm-hmm.
for some purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or broadcast to you.
It's kind of scary.
It's not scary. It's just a way to seek medical help when you're not near a doctor.
Yeah.
Or have a pacemaker or a leg signal that goes, with you, or,
And, well, I can see it. So that old commercial where the lady fell down. She's like, "Oh, I can't get
Of
up."
course.
So this could be perfect for that scenario.
Yeah, for sure. Or they can alert right now that your blood sugar is spiking, and all of a sudden send you insulin, or come pick you up, or anything.
Yeah.
That's huge. Telemedicine. That's huge.
Yeah.
We have a doctor shortage.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. Yeah, I'm just laughing because I'm thinking the different scenarios. Like somebody, maybe somebody drank too much. You can. Oh no, what are you doing? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, sure. There's that. There's that. But I mean, definitely, if you're a senior citizen, need medical help, and you can't get to a doctor, they can at least treat you remotely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with robots, you're going to see more and more of that too. So the robot will be here with us right now. You can say you're not feeling well. You can place your hand on the robot's, chest or whatever. It'll read your vital signs, communicate to a doctor in China or India or Boston, and tell you, okay, this guy needs some water right now. It's like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the robots coming on too. You can't forget about them. They're going to be. They're also big conduits for information and energy and everything else, and they're going to be all around us as portals.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how that economy.
Well,
plays
they
out.
have robots like walking around
Oh, yeah.
Mountain View.
On Mountain View, they do.
Yeah.
Outside in the
I
street.
heard, like they're owned by Google.
They're outside in the street.
Yeah, I don't know if they still are, but I heard someone saying that it was walking in Mountain View and they seen the robots and stuff. I was like,
Just on the sidewalk doing its thing.
Yeah, just doing whatever. Because Google owns a lot of property in Mountain View.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
You'll be curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
It's a brave new world, so we
Yeah.
got to get it. Hey
Yeah.
man, I gotta go. I gotta get some dinner and go see my wife and go chill out. It's been a long day,
Cool.
but I'm really excited for your work and break the chains, be free,
Yeah.
get your education strong
Just
early,
turning black.
and it's turning black, and keep thinking about ways to leverage all this technology to make a difference
Yeah.
and transform, not just your life but the world. And remember, all the energy you put into this will come back to you tenfold, 1,000-fold, if you make value for other people.
Right.
All right?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Thanks you all for joining us. My name is Corey again, Blackchain founder. Ben Bartlett with us as well, bringing black to the block. And again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.